that covers the Fever, and I'm like, are you really? P word. Oh. They got destroyed. Stephanie White got destroyed. So little reaction to a minutes restriction, period. And again, the media, oh, they're just making up something. What, you expect them to admit it? You dumb shits? No, they're not going to admit it. Because hashtag Fire Steph White posted this. Now, I understand the gate price are just going to make Caitlyn look like shit. And so this is what this organization doesn't realize.
Aja Wilson's back. The Fever and Aces play tomorrow night. And here's the actual headline. Caitlin Clark is available, but here comes the status update everybody's been waiting for. Good news, bad news, exactly how it's been framed all week. And it's worth saying up front, this isn't some mystery. Clark's been managing a real back injury since late June, and Indiana's been public about easing her back in.
Clark is available to play against the Aces. The bad news is a perfectly healthy Caitlin Clark, for whatever reason, will be on a minutes restriction again. Now, Aaliyah Boston just came off of an injury the other night, played 38 minutes. And by the way, everybody noticed that. Oh, but the media...
The bad news is the minutes restriction is back, and Aaliyah Boston played 38 minutes coming off her own injury the very same week. That contrast is going to make fans ask questions. To be fair to the Fever here, Boston and Clark are different injuries with different recovery timelines, and it's not automatically hypocrisy to manage them differently. But I get why, optically, that's a tough sell to a fan base that's already primed to see favoritism or mismanagement in every decision this season.
To justify a narrative. After this game, the better without her will be in full effect, and people will start losing interest at an alarming rate. Well, let's take a look. Hashtag Fire Steph White posted this. Now, I understand this is only about 1,200 fans since 2024. But there's something to point out here. Number one, Caitlin Clark is playing on this team, and you're losing.
Here's the actual confirmed update. Stephanie White said Clark will play 20 to 25 minutes against Las Vegas, and critically, they're moving away from the 3-minute burst rotation they used against the Sparks. That detail matters. This isn't the same restriction as before. It's an adjustment based on what clearly didn't work last time.
To justify a narrative. After this game, the better without her will be in full effect, and people will start losing interest at an alarming rate. Well, let's take a look. Hashtag Fire Steph White posted this. Now, I understand this is only about 1,200 fans since 2024. But there's something to point out here. Number one, Caitlin Clark is playing on this team, and you're losing.
And look, the frustration in this fan base is real. Fans are pissed. Isn't just a talking point. It's a legitimately documented sentiment after a season full of minutes restrictions, benching controversies, and inconsistent messaging from the organization. You don't need a conspiracy theory to explain why people are frustrated. The frustration is earned on its own.
The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, black and white sports supporters. Well, tomorrow, the Indiana Fever will do battle with the Las Vegas Aces. By the way, Aja Wilson is back. She came back Thursday. She will play tomorrow night. To our knowledge, why the hell the game is at?
The comparison being made here, that no other MVP caliber all-star in any other sport gets managed quite like this, is a fair point worth sitting with. Star players get load management in the NBA too, but rarely with this much public second-guessing, and rarely with this much visible inconsistency in the plan from week to week.
But there's something to point out here. Number one, Caitlin Clark is playing on this team and you're losing any attendance. That's unacceptable. Number 2, this 15,826. You know what happens when you have tickets left? How many videos have I done this year where tickets were $8 or $9 a piece?
The claim that the coaching staff only abandoned the 3-minute burst strategy because they took public heat for it is speculation. We don't actually know their internal reasoning. But it's not unreasonable speculation. The Fever tried something similar in the Portland game too, and if a strategy visibly isn't working, and then gets changed right after getting hammered publicly, it's fair to wonder about the sequence of events, even without confirming the actual motive.
Clark is. It upsets me that Clark allows it. Hopefully she's just biding her time. There are a lot of fans that are starting to want Caitlin Clark to get pissed off. That is a thing right now that is brewing bigger and bigger. What blows my mind is a professional coaching staff didn't realize that wouldn't work. It could actually cause more damage to their player, only to now see it. Look, the only reason they're making an adjustment is because they got destroyed. They got destroyed. Stephanie White got destroyed.
Predicting erratic rotations and a Stephanie White-induced loss before the game's even been played is pure speculation dressed up as inevitability. And I want to be honest about that distinction, because it's the difference between fair critique of a real pattern this season and just assuming the worst outcome in advance to fit a narrative that's already been decided.
Training staff in the history of basketball. This will be a Fever loss just to justify a narrative. After this game, the better without her will be in full effect, and people will start losing interest at an alarming rate. Well, let's take a look. Hashtag Fire Steph White posted this. Now, I understand this is only about 1,200 fans.
The actual basketball hope here is completely reasonable, though. Fans wanting Clark on the floor with her real starting lineup instead of heavy bench units is a legitimate strategic preference. And the idea floated here, that Stephanie White secretly believes this team is better without Clark, is worth naming clearly as theory, not fact. There's no statement from White or the organization supporting that read. It's an inference built from frustration with the rotations, not from anything she's actually said.
Stan, this is only about 1,200 fans since 2024. But there's something to point out here. Number one, Caitlin Clark is playing on this team and you're losing any attendance. That's unacceptable. Number two, this 15,826.
The jump from this organization has communicated inconsistently to the Fever need to be investigated, and this is retaliation for Congress looking into the WNBA, is a significant leap without any evidence behind it. Real frustration with real inconsistency doesn't automatically add up to an organized retaliation campaign, and it's worth being honest about that distinction, instead of stacking every grievance into one grand theory.
Caitlin Clark will be available against Las Vegas tomorrow. Steph White says she's on a 20 to 25 minute restriction. Wow. So here we go. Yes, this time it'll be 2-minute burst. Chloe, you are not a real journalist. People are getting pissed.
Predicting the outcome of tomorrow's game to fit a pre-existing narrative, this will be a loss just to justify a narrative, and, better without CC rhetoric in full effect afterward, is the kind of thing that sounds prophetic when it happens to be right, and gets quietly forgotten when it isn't. I'd rather just watch the actual game than assume the result is predetermined by coaching malice.
Watch her play Caitlin Clark with Dantas and Grace. F. Stephanie White. People are pissed. So we can expect erratic rotation subs from the end of the bench and Stephanie White-induced loss because that's what she wants when CC's playing. I would not watch another.
Here's the number that actually deserves scrutiny. Attendance sitting around 15,826, with real, documented ticket price drops. Some games down to $8 or $9 a ticket, compared to $75 minus $100 in 2024. That's a real, measurable business problem for this franchise, independent of any rotation theory, and it's worth the organization's attention regardless of how you feel about the minutes restriction debate.
Leg injury. This is what this organization doesn't realize. The fans of a player, of a superstar like this, are going to notice everything. They're going to notice everything.
And the bottom line fans keep coming back to, give Clark the same treatment Boston got coming off her injury, because a superstar's fan base is going to notice every single inconsistency, whether it's fair or not. That's not paranoia, that's just what happens when you build a franchise's entire commercial identity around one player and then manage her return differently than her teammates.
The fans of a player, of a superstar like this, are going to notice everything. They're going to notice everything. I mean, you got people out there running fucking pie charts. I shit you negative. I get into my inbox sent all kinds